What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is Lovers and Friends Season 2, Episode 2. This is the mixer. So, again, I'm liking these changes that they made this season. Excuse me. They made this season. um as it relates to doing the mixer a little bit different and how they're picking the bachelors a little bit different. So the way they did it this year, both of the bachelors were at the same mixer. They had a really good opportunity to sort of work the room and talk to everybody. They were in a private space, so they didn't have to deal with like other people in their situation. Excuse me. And I was really here for it. I was really here for it. Now, Dennis seems to be a lot more personable than Lionel. Lionel said that he's sort of more reserved, and so, working a room was a little bit harder for him. And I understand that. People think because of my personality that I just walk in a room and I'm always like on 20. But if I walk into a room where I don't know anybody, I'm generally pretty quiet and to myself. I know people are not gonna believe that, but that is the truth. So we meet Mike. Now, I like Mike. Mike was in the back. Mike was like, I don't need to be seen. I don't need to do a whole lot of extra, And when him and Dennis sat down, he started interviewing Dennis. I said, I know that's right. You better flip them tables and interview Dennis. And while he was talking, D rolled up and interrupted the conversation. Now, Mr. D, I feel like D just wants to be seen, okay? I feel like D really just wants to be seen. He did the same thing with Lionel. He just kind of rolled up and was sort of just in the mix. Now Mr. Hoverboard, the dude that was on the little hoverboard last week y'all know who I'm talking about. He was asking some crazy ass questions. Like the first thing out of his mouth to Lionel was top, bottom, or verse. Now, as L Teddy 27 has explained to me, that is an important conversation to have when you are dating someone or looking to date someone. I get it. But that doesn't have to be the first question out your mouth. I'm just saying, can I know your middle name? Can I know your last name? Before we start talking about whether we top, bottoms, or verses, okay? So then he started talking about, do you own a gun? Well, if I asked you to, would you shoot your ex? What? The fuck? Who does that? Who even asked that kind of a question? So then we had I don't forgot his name, but the guy that had on the green shirt that sort of came all the way down. Dennis and Lionel seemed to have decent conversations with both of them. Lionel didn't like the way D was dressed, but D also said something crazy to him too. D was just all over the place, and like Lionel said, he just wanted to be seen. He just really wanted to be seen. Dennis seemed, like I said, he seemed to be having a little bit more deeper conversations with these guys. We saw him talk to D. We saw him talk to Kelvin. We saw him talk to Lonnie. We saw him talk to... who else did we see him talk? Well, Mike. I said that already, Mike. But we only really saw Lionel talk to like a couple of people. I'm sure he talked to more people, but maybe those conversations just weren't as interesting. I don't know. The guy with the green shirt on, he had a lot of tattoos. Listen, I understand people get tattoos, and people get tattoos for different reasons and for what they mean to them. But I feel like sometimes people get so many tattoos that at a certain point, they just start putting anything on their body. I'm just saying. So Dennis said that he's somewhere in the middle. He like a man with some tattoos. He either like them with 1 or 2 tattoos, or he like them fully tatted. Okay. So old boy definitely fit the mold because he had tats everywhere. They were all over his body, right? Then we saw Dennis have a one-on-one conversation with Lonnie. And Lonnie got braces, and Dennis was turned on by the braces. I said, okay, being turned on by the braces. So then Dennis pulled 2 of the guys out at the same time. I guess he figured, listen, I'm going to have to start double fisting this because my time is running low, and I ain't had a chance to talk to everybody, so I'm going to just do 2 at a time. And that conversation seemed to be cool. But again, I feel like Dennis really went out of his way to try and talk to all of the guys and try to really connect with all of them. He asked some really good questions. What's your biggest pet peeve? What is what is your worst, your least favorite trait in a person? These are really good questions. Really, really, really good questions. Again, like I said, I saw more of Dennis than I saw of Lionel. I don't want to say his. I know I'm saying his name wrong, but the other bachelor. Um. Then I guess the host Cece and my boy decided Lon D decided that they were gonna do like this whole thing with they were gonna have the guys give the bachelors a lap dance. I'm sure that was something that sounded real good when y'all came up with it, but it didn't really translate that well to the actual execution because again, we just getting to know each other. I don't know how I feel about grinding up on somebody I just met. And Lana was like, I'm not comfortable with somebody grinding up on me. I don't know you like that. So it didn't really pop off that well. I think we only had two guys that they showed us. One was D, Mr. I Want to Be Everywhere. And again, I think that Lano liked the fact that he was grinding up on him. He was grinding up on him. And that sort of turned him on a little bit. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, if that's what turns you on, listen, if that's what make you feel good, okay. And like I said, Lionel just really wasn't feeling it. He wasn't here for it at all. So like I said, that didn't really go over as well as I think they thought it was going to go over. So then the bachelors, it was time for the bachelors to choose. The friends get a choice and the bachelors get a choice. So the friends get a choice and they get to kind of talk amongst themselves and come up with their pick. And then the friends. Now, Dennis talking about something. He don't know who his friends going to choose. That he feel like they're going to choose just the opposite. Just to be, choose somebody that he wouldn't be interested in just to, I guess as a joke. But I was like, but then he said, but no, I do trust them. So I think they understand how serious this is for me. So I am going to, that I wouldn't just choose anybody, I was like, I would hope so. Okay. So then we get, let's see. So we get down to the choices. Lionel chose Kelvin. His friends chose Mike. Dennis chose Lonnie. Did he? Yeah, Dennis chose Lonnie, and his friends chose D. I have no idea why his friends chose D. D should not have been anybody's choice. Y'all, I don't know how this gonna work out. But it was so funny because one of the eligible bachelors decided he gonna ask the producer, aka Markel. He gonna say, well, what if you got somebody in the room that you interested in? And Markel was like, go for it. So he gonna roll up to one of the friends, Coffee, which I ain't mad at you for going up to Coffee. Now we didn't hear that conversation. They kind of mumbled it, but basically they said something, he said something back, and they walked out together. So listen, I ain't mad at you. If you can't find love one way, you find love another way. So I was here for it. I'm here for it, and I'm okay with that. Okay. So now it's time for the date. So next week they said there's gonna be a group date. So I guess that's gonna be something next week with a group date situation. We'll see how that work out. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments. Peace.